What's up, everybody? We back at it again, Greenwood Ave. This time we're in New Orleans, and we at Studio B, which is a black-owned art gallery. Hey man, come along, man. We go in here and check it out and see what this all about. We're gonna sit down and have a talk with the manager of the facility, man, and see what she has some golden nuggets for us to check out. So come along with us and let's go see what they talking about.
Hi guys, my name is Liz LaFrere and I manage the gallery space Studio B. We're an art gallery in the Bywater of New Orleans. And right now it's a 35,000 square foot warehouse that houses the solo show of Brandon B. Mike Odoms. And he's a visual artist from New Orleans, and this is his first solo show as a visual artist. And all of the artworks that you see if you were to come here are all large-scale murals and paintings and a few sculptures and like installation pieces, all revolving around history, specifically Black history and New Orleans history. And it's a collection of works that involve different people that have inspired Brandon and his artistry just like throughout the years. The room we're in right now, it's actually really special. This particular space is called the Eternal Room, and the walls you see are actually cutouts from a housing project. And Brandon, in 2013, he went into this abandoned housing project and started painting for the first time using spray paint.
Inspiring moment right there in that message when you said he took something that he didn't know how to do, jumped out, learned how to do it, and look what happened from that experience.
These are the actual sheetrocks that were cut out. They've been in storage for the last few years, but we were able to take them out, and we were very careful with them because they're definitely very fragile. Like, they're all still in the original condition. So, right, you can still see like the holes in the wall, the wires, all that stuff. We weren't able to save all the walls, but we definitely were able to save some, and for that we're very, very excited to be able to show people at least, this is something that happened, and it kind of didn't just happen overnight. It was a very intentional process. The people on the walls, the stories that are being told are very intentional. The people like Simone or the Black Panthers, right? Martin and Coretta. Just all these people who have clearly used their platform to advocate for what they believe in. We want to be able to shine a light on that and show people like the possibilities of what can happen when you are passionate about your voice and what you believe in. Now we are entering into the water room, and some people call it the Katrina room. In this room specifically, there's these sculptures or like installations and stuff, and a lot of the imagery that was chosen to be depicted was very intentional. 3 of the pieces in this room specifically, I was telling you guys before how they're images that someone who experienced Katrina might remember. So in the middle you have like the water and how high it got to where all you saw were the tips of the houses. Or you might remember the boats that people were on trying to rescue those who couldn't readily evacuate. And so in this particular piece you see this boat kind of like submerging out of the water or like breaking through the water, and you have the different language on either side that says stuff like survive or middle passage, refugee, Noah's Ark, all these things. And the cool part about B. Mike's work is that it's very layered. It's always like the longer you look at it, the more you notice. So like every time you revisit a piece, you might see something that you didn't see before, which is really dope. And that piece in particular, it's a couple different conversations, specifically about the refugees during Katrina, but then it's also a conversation just about like the Middle Passage and the Atlantic slave trade and that connection to New Orleans specifically. And so he's really good at trying to connect different elements of history so that it can be realized that we're way more connected than we think or than we might readily realize. People who experienced Hurricane Katrina, like I remember, I was pretty young, but I still remember coming back and seeing my parents and helping my parents like gut out our house and seeing how high the water line got. And so a lot of people, when they came back from Katrina, this is an image they might vividly remember, like seeing the mildew line or like the mold line or whatever. And we have recreated that setting almost in a sense, right? That
exactly when you said it, I thought about us.
Yeah.
Hurricane Harvey.
Exactly.
Do that. We had friends whose houses had that mildew line and it like that.
Right, and it's just like there's something in someone's life that they went through that they probably felt it very hard to see the other side or see the finish line, but they're still here, or you're still here despite that, right? We understand that this room is pretty heavy, but we hope that we've, at least created an environment with Studio B to know that people can feel safe here and like express themselves. Like people do get rather emotional in this room, but we hope that they feel okay with that and they're not like ashamed or feeling guilty or things like that. And we have a few, actually I'm gonna show y'all in the next room, a few stations where people can stop and like debrief and process like what's going on, because we do know it's like a lot to process all at once, but we hope that with Brandon's artwork in particular, people can feel comfortable and even uncomfortable sometimes, like that's okay, but they can feel at least like this space is not here to like cause harm. It's here to start a conversation and, just continue building relationships, not tearing them apart, right? So this now we're actually entering into the love room. So we're trying to definitely communicate a few things in this room. The main themes though are just the way that love exists in our life, like how love is so multifaceted, right? It's not just about romantic love, there's familial love, platonic love, communal love, all these different ways that love can exist and show up, and especially the power of love and how we really need that as a species. It's just so significant, right? The power of love. And this particular room, y'all came at a really dope time because these are actually the newest pieces in the show. These are only just a few months old, but B Mike, he's doing a series, or he's just recently started this series that he wanted to highlight, specifically shining a light on Black joy. And so it's gonna be a series, a continuation of these paintings, but just different imagery of Black people being happy, period. Like just because, not because they have to be triumphant, not because they have to be, overcoming some traumatic thing, or resilient, just happy.
Because I got my bowl of noodles.
Yes.
With my hot sauce. Thank you, Lord.
Exactly. And so this series, this Black Joy series is just gonna be, these are the 3 first ones, but he's gonna do more, or he wants to do more eventually to add to it. And it's just gonna be a bunch of happy imagery because we need that, right? And with this room in particular, we wanted to, engage people more. And so that's what we were trying to do with these 2 particular pieces over here. We call it the B and the E booths. And in each booth, there's like a prompt and some pen and paper. And people are invited to participate. You definitely don't have to, it's completely voluntary, but you can go in and there's a prompt in each one. Inside of the B, you're basically trying to purge the negative. So the prompt, it says, fire is a cleansing force. Release whatever inhibits your ability to receive love by writing it down and tossing it in the flames. And you can basically write down any insecurities, any bad memories you have, anything that you feel has been weighing you down. We basically ask you to write it down and give it to us in hopes that when you leave here, you can feel a little lighter than when you came in. And all the papers, people, when they leave them, every few weeks we collect them and we burn them ourselves. Right, and once you let go of the negative, you are given the opportunity to refill yourself with positive or love. And you can write a love letter to yourself or a love letter to someone else, or a positive affirmation, Or you don't have to write anything. You could just read even what other people have written. It's totally up to you. But it's a super cool moment to see what other people have written and, you know, see what inspires them.
Oh, this one says, you're doing an amazing job. Keep going. It's gonna be great.
And so we are now actually gonna migrate over into, there's one more piece in particular that I do want y'all to experience that's like one of the engaging pieces. So this wall here, it's like our Pinterest board of sorts. It's all the sketches and reference photos, the general ideas, all of the original thoughts that went into the creation of, or the making of Ephemeral Eternal. And so I was telling you guys in the beginning that this show is heavily inspired by history, specifically Black history. And when we came here, it was very overwhelming to see all the space. And this video is actually going to show you what the space looked like when we first got here. The room you're standing in right now was completely bare. There were no walls. You're standing right here, actually, the walls that are behind you. And so this was like our blank canvas, right? And the vision that Brandon saw when he saw this was, you know, completely unexpected, but definitely worthy of, you know, support and helping him make it come to fruition. And so the rest of the video is a time lapse of him proving to people basically that he did make all of these pieces of art, right? Because it's very easy to walk in here, you know, in this big old space and say, who are all these pieces created by? And we're like, oh, it was one guy. And they're like, no, literally, who are all the people that did this? We're like, this one guy with his two hands, you know. His work ethic is amazing, and his dedication to, you know, the stories that he chooses to tell is very inspiring. And he's very intentional about the work he creates, which is, we hope, evident in the pieces you see in the show. And all of these are kind of like the ingredients, right? And then this is the final course that you'll see in the gallery. And over here, I was telling you guys before that he uses spray paint to create all of his artwork. And so he used to discard of the cans, but a few years ago, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, he started to actually like save them, and he'll draw on them or like hand paint each one, and then he'll sell them. So now it's kind of like an upcycled, you know, piece of art, and it's empty. So there's no paint in it, but everyone who gets a piece of the can, it's kind of like they're taking home a piece of the show, because every single one of these cans has touched one of these walls at some point in time. And so it's a super dope way to like keep passing on the torch, if you will. And we hope that this kind of also embodies the whole point of the show, that idea of the temporary and the forever, like this temporary piece of what someone else might think is like trash, but he saw more opportunity to keep creating, and now whoever takes this home is gonna live there forever, you know. So it's really cool.
Magic question.
Yes.
That's what all the Black people want to know. How much is it?
Oh. So these are one of ones, and these start at $7.50, and then we have some more in the gift shop that are vinyl wrapped, and we print 50 of each of those, and once we sell out the 50, we don't print anymore. So they're still pretty exclusive.
So
and those
$7.50.
This is $750, and then the ones in the gift shop, those are $50. So we have that balance, right? You know, of the scale for sure. And these are really special. And we love to show these to like the younger student artists that come in, and when we tell them that price, they're like floored. They're like, what? Like, I didn't even know art could be that expensive, you know? And Brandon did that on purpose. Like, initially, he set the prices really high so that when the younger kids come in, they could be inspired to know that like their art has value, and like they can put a price on their work, and someone's gonna buy it, like whoever sees it, because these can't sell. Like, don't get it. Yeah, don't get it. Like, the prices are up there, but they definitely have been purchased, and it's really fun to see, especially every time someone takes home a can, especially when there's a tour here and they get to see that happen. It's uncomparable.
Till next time.
Thank you for
This is
tuning
Greenwood
in.
Ave.
Thank you guys
Be
so
sure
much.
to follow us on Instagram at Greenwood Ave
1921. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so that you can watch more videos of Black-owned businesses. And remember, we're traveling the country. We're coming to a city near you, and we are exposing Black-owned businesses. And also check out our new merchandise, our E for Entrepreneur gear. So to all of our entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, you can go to our YouTube channel and check out our gear as well.